Hello and welcome back for the evening. I am your witch, and this is a Love Live Sunshine deck profile. This is a deck oh so dear to my heart, and with the recent restrictions list, I say recent, probably a couple of restriction lists now. I've been playing around with Love Live Sunshine again. So mine is the Japanese build, so some of the cards won't be available in English. Can't say I would know which cards I would swap out for English. I don't think there's much crossover that would need to happen. A lot of it is in English if it's already in Japanese, so it's just a few cards here and there. But if we go straight to the core of the deck, which is the Mirari ticket package, both English and JP have this available, and it is the best package Love Life Sunshine actually have to offer. No offense, deck, but it is. So when this deck came out, it was really strong at the time, and I myself had it. I got really lucky with my boxes. Had to sell the SPs, unfortunately. I really wish I would have kept them all now. Hey ho, hindsight 2020. But I do love this deck still, and I think now it's I wanna say full power, but now that it's back without the restrictions, it is a bit more playable again, especially with the newer stuff that is available. For those of you who may or may not know, and you're just a bit more new to the game or have never played against Sunshine, the Mirari ticket package is as such. If the Rico is in clock, you can play the Chica from hand early, so she comes down at level 2. You then pay 1 to summon out the Yo. The Yo says she gives the Chica 2k, and on attack, reveal top, burn X, where X equals to the level of the character, and you stack that by using the Rico. This is where the Rico effect comes from. So you rest her, discard a card as an act ability, reveal the top card of your deck, salvage X times the level of the card you reveal. So that was the whole package. You did that at level 2. It was quite disgusting. It was so easy to get through as well, and just to set up at the time. You look back on the decks that were also available that people were playing against, and you could see why Sunshine had its place. I do still like this deck. Like I said, calling it full power is probably generous, but this package is a lot more consistent once again with the recent restrictions being lifted. I run 3 and 3 of the Rico and the Chica because these are easier to get now. The sculpting is so much better in Sunshine now, particularly with like more of the JP card side of the things. And setting this up to get into clock is a lot easier these days as well. But 4 of this is still the important thing because this is quote unquote your finisher. So this is where you need to focus the 4 of, because you'll just spam these into your hand anyway. And if they focus on killing these, you want to just make sure you get these, because they want your opponent's going to aim to kill this over this, because this is weaker and this is the burn. So this is your finisher. That's why this for. I'm rambling. We'll move straight on to the rest of the cards now. So let's put those there. I run a one of set 1 bouncer Yoshiko. On play, bounce one of your opponent's cards. She gets 2k for the turn. On attack, pay 1, drop 1. Give herself 500 and a soul. This can be changed out with the Rico Fumio. I think I'm probably just saving out until I get the SP, to be honest, from the premium booster. But hey, I like a bouncer as well, and a yellow is needed in the set. In this deck, rather. Next card we use is 2 of the Ruby Healer, and on attack, give 500 times number of other characters. This is just there to be a healer. I tried the early play healers, it didn't really work much for me. I didn't find much cohesion in using the early plays plus this. This just felt more natural. So that's why I run 2 of those. Again, we need yellow experience 2 for our level 1 combo. So, and then 2 of the Yoshiko Musashis. This is the premium booster artwork. There is the Mirari ticket version where you could play the corresponding climax, but I actually don't. So she's just here to be a Musashi burn where it's once per turn when her damage is cancelled. Mill the top card of your deck. Deal X plus 1. X equals the level of the card plus 1. So mill a 0, burn 1, etc. Moving on to the rest of the level 2s. We run 2 counters. You can run the refresh counter. This is where things get a bit different for me. This is from the 6th anniversary booster that they released. So Volume 2 and the 6th Annie boosters never made it to English. Really sucks because they would do nicely in English. This is just a drop 2 and change. But again, it's yellow, and a lot of this deck gets a lot more hand, and you want to be preserving your stock to early play these. That's why I chose this one. There is another one which is a pay 2 if you have 4 or more music anti-change, but I like this one. So, and then this is the classic Ruby counter. Your opponent mills X on the bottom of the deck. Actually, this might be the top of the deck. I think this is the top of the deck. Oh no, yeah, it is the top of the deck because that screwed me over a couple of times. Memory, and it's a 3K counter, so it's just there to keep these alive. But also, milling out your opponent isn't always a bad thing. This has won me a game where my opponent decked out, and I was like, "Woohoo! I win! You're 3-6." Moving on to the combo, we have 4 of the new Yoshiko from Sif. She is a 6K offensive, 6-5 offensively, sorry, and experience 2. Beginning of Encore step, if the card opposite is reversed or there is nothing opposite, look at top 5, add a character, then she gets 1-5 cross turn. So she's 6-5 offensively, 6K defensively, which isn't bad numbers, to be fair. Is it the best combo? No, but the fact that it goes through 5 cards at the Encore step really makes it so you can determine how much you want to go through. So I do like it. This is the card, which is why I run 3 Rico. You can happily keep leveling yellow and still use this card to get your red in clock. She gets 2K in your turn, and Hanamaru says when she comes in, you choose a character in your clock and a character in your waiting room and swap them. So you are now swapping into your Ricos. You no longer need to sandbag 2 Ricos, 1 to clock and 1 to play. You can literally just play this now. You could be saying, why don't you run 4 Ricos? Because I don't want to bank on it just naturally lying into clock. The idea that I can just swap it out for this card and this lets me set up my level experience or zeros in. I can just put zeros into clock as well if this is already there, just to set up my burns a bit easier for later through the deck. It just makes things a lot easier to do and means the sculpting can be a little bit more precise. So I only have to keep one of these in my hand at most. And then she's off the ban list, ladies and gentlemen. The choice was between her, Rico, and then Yo was at 2, then it was at 3. These were still at a choice, and then this is what they did in the end. They just went, you can have it all back. Ruby has a climax combo we don't use. However, she is on play, discard a card, look at top 4, add a music character. Fantastic. We just love an on play Azusa. If she was at level 0, she'd be busted. Like the original Azusa from Imas, or Akatsuki from, was it Kantai? Kantai. She just let you set this up into waiting room if you need it, fills your waiting room with targets that you needed. So this card is just really good. There was a reason it was on the balance for so long. Moving on to level 0s. I don't run many. Again, this is another difference that I use because I use the JP version of the deck, which is the Climax Swap Rico. She's also, when her damage is cancelled, you send her to stock, so she can increase your stock threshold a little bit more as well. Another difference is 3 of the Yoshiko clean cut on play. She gets 1-5 and a level if you have another character. And when we say clean cut, we mean when she reverses the battle opponent, rest one of your other characters and move to the back row. Just that. We want to build stock early on in the game still, so even though we don't have to sandbag these, we still want 4 stock ideally going into level 2, sorry. Not always something you can do, but we are using choice, so that can accommodate to help for that a little bit more. But if we can be a bit more aggressive, which is what this deck aims to be, then a clean cut is fine. This is a tech of 1. This Chica is a hand to stock as well as being a pay 1 double trigger. If cheeky enough, you can use this card to put one of your Yos into stock and then just pay it out with the Chica. So I like being able to do that. But again, the double trigger letting you clean out your stock of like your threes and your twos and try and trigger zeros more goes along well with the idea of being a bit more aggressive in that first turn. We even though we have the original Rico, we still play 3 of the level 0 Rico. Yo, from this is from Sif. This is a reprint, and I don't know why they upgraded it to a rare when it was an uncommon in volume 2. No, in 6 Annie. But I suppose for English it works, but it didn't need to be a Sunshine character. It could have been any of the other groups, and I would have been happy. But yeah, we still play just for that early game filter. Just try and set up a bit more. I decided to run the Mari Brainstorm. During your turn, if you have experience 2 or higher, she is 500 in front. So the idea is like it just makes your middle row a little bit bigger. And she is a search brainstorm. A lot of people still opt to use the Hanamaru salvage brainstorm, but she only salvages yellow, which I could use, but just doesn't fit right in the deck. And I like the idea of searching out my level zeros and seeing what my deck is. So depending on where my state is, I know the order I'm attacking in. And knowledge of your deck is just too good. We also run 2 Mari drop searchers. This was on the pick list at one point as well. She is a draw drop on play with 2 other characters and then pay 1 drop on search. You can do those in any order that you want. Typically, I'll do the draw drop first just to see if I get the character I'm looking for. But if it doesn't work out, then I'll do the drop search. If you're trying to draw a climax, do the drop search first just to increase your odds. And then the last card we use is the Ruby Rico. Um, Ricky, not Rico. So many R's. So with this one, you clock from waiting room. So again, easier to get your Ricos into clock. So you don't have to clock from hand anymore with your Ricos. You can do it this way if you're really desperate for something, but just helps set up the level 1 early game. And if you want to grab this, like that's a completely fine option as well as just to be a chump attacker. So, and 1 SP because I wanted to treat myself. So I got the SP. And then my climax lineup is actually 4 door and 4 choice. You can use 8 choice if you wanted to. I did debate it, and that would use the new level 3 Hanamaru. I don't like that. I was just like, it doesn't feel natural to me because I would want to use multiple of the Hanamaru. So instead, I opted to use just an empty door, and the deck runs a lot more smoothly from there. And this is just how I would run it in JP. And the numbers seem fine. I say it's a lot of threes I run. In reality, it's not 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12. I could run more. I could run 4 of this, but I just can't see where I would cut my numbers, to be honest, because I like the way the deck is designed a bit more now. I was very iffy running a card that needed experience. But it really works out because you're just losing 1 level 3. It's not like you're losing all your level 3s, you're just losing 1. And that's fine. You can lose just 1, and then you can just shove the rest of your zeros into level, and that's fine. Hence why we run 3 of the Rico level 0, because that goes into level straight away. It's the Yo level 0, which is a Rico. I know this is a Rico, but this is just to be a climax swap for early game. You're probably not going to use it much. So yeah, that is the deck overall. Let's not cover the Ruby SP. So that's just a breakdown of my deck. I will try and get some gameplay with it because I really do like this deck, and I do want to show it off a bit more. Sunshine is not something that is overly powered, but if it's built right, it is consistent. You just have to watch out for those anti-change counters, memory kit counters, which is why, like the few things I do run it for, which is the Yo, the combo, and the Ruby level 1. It's not a problem. Those are my main pieces of this deck. Running only healers does still scare me because usually I like to run a lot of healers, but there's nothing at the top end that I really want to use. So that's why I run it the way I do. But this is mine. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to see what you would swap out for some of the English cards. The main English swaps you would need to do is just these, to be fair. Is just these. And that's fine. Like, you can swap out 3 cards. I'm sure there is somewhere out there that you can swap these for. If the I don't know if it's out as a promo in English. There is the Chica Clinker as well, which is oversized, 3K all the time. That you could easily replace that, and you'd be fine. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. It's something a little bit different because I wanted to show the physical deck that I owned because I just wanted to show appreciation for the fact that I own this deck. This is a deck I love and I do enjoy. Let me know how you would change it in the comments, and let me know anything you want to see next time from me. Do you want to see some gameplay of this, or do you want to see some other Japanese decks that I may own? Until next time, guys, grab yourself some water. I'd usually say tea, but it is scorching hot in the UK today. So go get some water and keep yourself safe in the sun. And until next time, guys, bye!